with the shutdown right here, and Malaysia is not done yet.
What?
One more for Formace. Now with the rhythm manipulation, it's triple kill.
What?
And finally, Chico gets taken out in return. But he is the only casualty. That is a wipe out for one for the side of the Malaysians, and this is objective gameplay from them right now.
Oh, wow, suddenly all of the members from Vietnam got wiped out by Malaysia just because, no one can take down Formace in the front as the frontliner for Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from another member from Vietnam. Meanwhile, Chico go out with the barbell.
And this is what is so difficult for Vietnam right now. They don't have a lot of ways to stop the aggression. The Sanguine Claws maybe from Need My Help, but that is the only source of crowd control, and maybe the taunt from the King. It is not nearly enough to stop Formace, Moon, Chiku. So many threats just diving in towards your members, and if you get careless, that is where Youngs will pull you back. That's where Momo soon will be able to burst you down with that late game true damage that the last league provides. So now with the turtle, Malaysia will look to go for yet another aggressive play.
Yeah, with the 5k gold lead by Malaysia, I think it's quite for Vietnam for now. So they really need to be careful with the initiation that coming. Knows that there are like 4 members in the jungle. So they don't want to take a risk. Maybe they are waiting for Formace to be ready in the team fight.
Exactly, he is that strong right now. He can walk
Nart.
into the jungle, and look at that, Nart will be the target, and Chico will not be able to secure that kill. Final is setting for them right now.
And even though Hehe, she doesn't have a chance, to trying to break the weakness point here, get the crossbow attack, because he already got the cherry down very fast by Malaysia.
It's just really difficult because at any point, if you miss position, the rhythm manipulation can be used to engage. You can see Formace just going in with the bravest fighter. And right now with Formace being so difficult to deal with, they might require all 5 members, and there's no way that they can deal with his mobility and catch him.
Yeah, now you know the reason why I really like Formace playstyle, right? He's very, very confident.
Whoa.
He knows what to do. And look at that, the bravest fighter already pops in, and the crossbow of time goes into the Formace, but Formace still able to survive, or is she?
There's a lot of ultimates being used by Vietnam. Malaysia will try and capitalize, but on top side, will get taken out. Chico still on the horse, horsing around, trying to make sure that he gets more.
Oh my god, I think they already confused what they have to do, because every lane is being controlled by Malaysia. They don't care about the team fight between Chico guys and also Formace in the bottom lane. Momo just focus on the objective turrets they have to get.
The objective gameplay for sure is very good for Malaysia, pressuring every single lane. And when you have a member as strong as Formace, you can just pull so many people and exert so much pressure. He does get shut down by the King though, so now maybe Vietnam will be able to find something else, a different pickoff, as they are scaling quite a bit into the late game. Is it still somewhere in the mid game? 10 minutes and 30 seconds definitely isn't that far off. So I think they have to stall much longer for the 1-1 and the Sicilian to get back online.
Okay, but the ultimate snipe was already used, trying to poke damage, trying to giving a poke damage towards King here, but it's a moment a little bit here because he's getting poked as well, with the damage coming from Moon and also from Yams with the alarm bomb.
Alarm bombs, Moon with the poke damage, and Momo as well. So now they go with the Lord in Tao. Rune manipulation picks one up, mega kill for Moon, and now they go for more. The King gets taken out. No more frontline for the side of Vietnam. That will be the Carmela getting taken out as well, and they might just go for the end after that 1-1 gets taken out, and that is a dominant performance from Malaysia, as expected from essentially the Todak roster.
Agree with that. This is what makes Todak looking very strong, because this roster, they have been together maybe for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 3 years. I don't know. We know this name like Chiku, Moon, Yams, Formace, and also Momo. They never replace any one of them, right? So the chemistry is there for Malaysia, and they know what they have to do. They also know about the meta here, but unfortunately Vietnam, they came with a good drop, I could say. They have this Amon for the early game, insurance into the mid and the late game. But I think the execution is just not there for Vietnam.
I think so. In the early game, Malaysia is just a bit too quick, and Vietnam, they try and get some setups for the aim-on in the early game, but honestly, without any good crowd control and against a Diggy to boot, right? There's such limited options for Vietnam to try and get advantage. And of course, that whole sequence of events in the bot side where 4Maze just goes out of control.
Yeah.
I think that was just so difficult for Vietnam to try and recover from because of their composition. They need to play slow. And now we take a look at some of the highlights, Momo.
Yes, this is the highlight when maybe if in the first 2 minutes, we saw that Vietnam, they already lose their 2 members in the first time, right? In the first place. Then after that, after they secure the first turtle, Malaysia, they are very, very confident, especially after 4Maze got the 2 kills in the bottom lane. Even though they lose Chiku, but the thing is, it's 2 for 1. So it's an advantage for Malaysia. They have a lot of, they got more things rather than lose Chiku, right? They shut down Bernard, they shut down the King as well. So I think it's enough for Malaysia to keep snowballing into the last minute of the game, which is it's maybe around 10 minutes.
It's about 10 minutes, 11
it's
minutes.
About 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and they even, the line management is very, very good for Malaysia. We didn't see Momo maybe join the team fight as much as we want, but the thing is, he just cared about the objective turret. Look at that. 3 members in the bottom lane. So Momo and also Ialf, they are just focused to shout down. Even Hehe got punished in the top lane. Look at that. And even double kill. This one is an easy kill for Momo, right?
2k true damage right there.
I know, right?
Momo.
And unfortunately, it's very, very hard for Vietnam because they cannot shut down Momo. Momo already get the item here. And Yams with the time journey, what makes all the CC, the crowd control that coming from Vietnam is useless. It's very, very useless.
At the end of the day, only the King can be the main front line, and there's just so much burst. You can see it again and again. There hasn't been a single fight where the King is able to actually stay in the front and absorb a lot of damage. And in huge contrast, you can see 4Maze just take damage, absorbing it from multiple members, burning multiple ultimates from Vietnam. And wow.
This is my idol.
Your idol.
My idol from Malaysia is 4Maze, of course, to be the MVP for our first game with a good, very, very good KDA. Even though we know that there's some role changes that coming from Malaysia here, but they are seems very, very comfortable with what they are doing right now, right? 4Maze with the Lapu Lapu, we know with the 3 versus 1 in the bottom lane, and he still got to with that low HP. Very, very nice, but the player spotlight for this game is Yums. Of course, the babysitter coming from the year, right?
Yep.
This is what Leslie need, or maybe not only Leslie, but all the good lane need someone to babysit them so they can farm really free.
And you have to remember that with the potential for Diggy to just pull someone back, that is what set up a lot of the main heroes
the
for
reverse
side
time
of Malaysia. The reverse time is just very difficult to deal with. And look at that, it's honestly quite one-sided. A lot of 0 deaths on the side of Malaysia.
It's no wonder why actually Malaysia, Vietnam, they cannot do much here. The Vietnam cannot do much because they don't have the dominance eyes. They only have from Gennard, but Gennard need to be there.
Exactly.
To just hold up the lifesteal that coming from 4Maze here with the Festival of Blood and also the Bloodlust Eggs. Once Gennard down, it's gonna be a free lifesteal that coming from 4Maze.
Not to mention, Nard wasn't exactly tanky either. You can see that in 1 or 2 seconds, he gets absolutely taken out. So Vietnam, if they want to go for that late game, they need to be a lot more calculated. Yes, they can go for plays in the early game, but giving up 2 kills to 4Maze like that is not the way to go, man. Malaysia will not let that slide. They will absolutely punish that kind of mistake.
Yeah.
And it's back to the drawing board for Vietnam.
Yeah, I agree with that. Malaysia, they got snowballing very, very fast.
Very fast.
Since I think in the first 3 minutes, I think after the first turtle, right? But yeah, it is what it is. The first game has already been passed, but we are going to move to the game number 2 because it's a best of 3 series. But we would like to say thank you, especially for our sponsors and our media partner, because Iesf 14 World Esports Championship is supported by wonderful Indonesia, Kemenpora, NOC, and also Pony. And have a lot of sponsor Arashi. Thank you for GHL Group, GHL Auto, Nesape, DAS, Gudang Crypto, Pertamina, Taiwan Excellence, Hydro Coco, IndiHome, Telkomsel, Hin, Episode Hotel, Merisaka, Nusa Dua,
Of course.
where we are here right now. It's very, very amazing. Mineski Global, Indonesia Football E-League, ESID, and also Lemon ID.
And as the media partners which cooperated with for this event, there's NetTV, Trans7, Detik.com, Esport ID, Video.com, Dunia Games, Dance TV, Dance Play, Merah Putih, Bola Score, and Kami Bijak. So
Wow.
thanks a lot for helping out this event. We could have done it without you.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
just like that, Momo-chan.
Yeah.
Game number 1.
Day number 1, maybe it's because first day always like that. Sometimes we see the team who play really, really dominant, right? But after the day number 1, in the day number 2, we will see maybe some of the little bit tight score later for the game
Closer
for the
matches.
day number. Close match maybe between all of the upper bracket match, and especially because we have the lower bracket, so there's still a chance for all the team who lose in the day number 1.
Exactly. Lower bracket is still a possibility, and some teams, maybe their whole plan is to go into that lower bracket and, try and go for against different teams.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. There's still game number 2 right here for Malaysia against Vietnam, and Vietnam definitely has a lot of adjustments in the book ready to be set out in the land of dawn. So for Malaysia, will they go for the same playstyle? Will they go even in the same roles? Because Malaysia is crazy, man. There's no other way of putting it.
They're just too flexible, I could say.
Way too flexible.
Chico sometimes he can be the gold laner, sometimes he can be the jungler,
Mid
sometimes
lane.
he can be mid lane. Yeah, it's just too flexible from Malaysia, and this is what makes Malaysia looking very, very strong, because sometimes we cannot predict what will they play and what role will they use in the game.
And maybe that's why when Vietnam was banning a lot of gold in order to try and target Chiku,
Yeah.
just like that, just switch it up.
But it's not, it's, if we talk about Malaysia, it's not, or especially if we talk about Todak, it's not about Chico himself.
Everyone else.
Yeah, it's about everyone actually. You look how so strong. Formace 1 versus 3, we still got 2 with the low HP, and also Chico going back into the jungler. So it's okay if you ban out my marksman, all of my marksmen, especially Cloud, which is Chico's favorite hero.
Signature hero.
He will just go to the jungler because he doesn't have a lot of maybe option for the marksman.
Exactly. I think how they want to play this will be very interesting, because for Vietnam, they have now seen what Malaysia can do, right?
Okay.
Because they try to fight fire with fire, and Malaysia shows that, in their own game, in that Langar playstyle, there's no
Wow.
way you can even try and match Malaysia. So will Vietnam double down and go for something similar, or will they change things completely? Because for Malaysia, now they are the ones banning out that Digi.
Yes, interesting. I was hoping, actually, I'm hoping that Malaysia, Todak, they can just take that Atlas, because when you ban this Digi, it means that you want to use that an initiation hero such as Atlas or maybe Kufra or someone else that maybe can give you the crowd control here without any disturbance that coming from Digi.
Speaking of the crowd control, though, Kaja will be banned out, and this time it's from Vietnam, so a bit of a switch up, but they will not let that 1-1 go. It's a bit
Yes.
too dangerous in the hands
Too dangerous.
of Malaysia, but that Fanny is also one of the heroes that Malaysia will try and deny. Maybe this time they will play for that gold lane instead. It will all depend on how Vietnam bans out and drafts out the first phase.
Yeah, let's see. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be 1-1. There's still like Martis and also Leo Mort, especially maybe Valentina, but there's no Phobius. Oh my god, a lot of OP hero.
Oh, as you mentioned it though, Momo-chan, Phobius makes an appearance.
Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, I think the way Malaysia is banning is just very interesting, because it seems like everything serves a certain purpose, whereas for Vietnam, right now as well, it seems to be a bit of a flip,
It's a
actually.
bit of, yeah.
Just a bit. Not exactly completely, but
Yep. But I think Leo Mort could be the first pick for Malaysia, or maybe it's gonna be Valentina.
Valentina is still open, and Vietnam was forced to pick between Martis or the Leomord. We have seen Malaysia just wreak havoc on that Leomord pick. But now, as you mentioned, Momo-chan, maybe Valentina is a more solid, more flexible option that Malaysia will try and explore. But no, they like that Eve a lot. I think recently there was a bit of an adjustment as well. The damage, I guess, is still the same, the range also, but the crowd control, I think, was increased. It's a slower for Yi.
Yeah, especially they have the immobilized, right?
And now,
Status from the rule manipulation. And Valentina, I think if you compare Valentina and also Eve, both of them are very, very good. But Valentina, we know that she has the real manipulation that can stop the movement they coming from the opponents, right? Meanwhile, Valentina,
she can also have.
She can also have because she can copy this Eve, right?
Yep.
Really good pick they coming from from Vietnam. I really like this Valentina pick, but Benedetta for the backline pressure coming from Vietnam with the electroplanar blow. So we will see. We will see who will get caught by Benedetta here.
It's definitely a lot more of an aggressive pick. We saw Fredrin earlier, and now it's a Benedetta. Maybe it can still be flexed out depending on what Vietnam is trying to do. But honestly, if they're going to go for that back line with that Petrify, it is something that the King can attempt to do. For Malaysia, though, instantly picking up something to deter that dive coming in from both the Benedetta as well as the Valentina. Ruby has been picked up, and they will opt to use that Beatrix here. That flexibility we talked about for the side of Malaysia is amplified with that hero, with the different selections of weapons you have in your arsenal.
Okay, let's see. It's gonna be Beatrix and also Cloud for the gold lane from both of the teams here, Arashi. It's interesting because we know that Chico is very, very popular with his Cloud, but currently Chico is going to play as a jungler. So it's
Are
okay.
you sure though?
Maybe, might be.
Exactly.
Might be there's some role changes as well coming from Malaysia. We don't know.
Don't know.
It depends on the coach, right? It depends on the player itself. But going into the second banning phase right now, Vietnam, they banned this Fredrin. And interesting, they can ban out the Atlas as well if they want to. But we know that this Ruby can go into the next one, right? So it's still quite flexible for Malaysia. But 100% if will go into the hand of maybe Yums or maybe Moon. I think it's gonna be Moon,
Maybe. Right now for Vietnam, they banned out that Fredrin as well, not wanting to deal with that hero on that Benedetta. It's a bit of a difficult matchup. Of course, crowd control counters these mobility heroes. From Malaysia, they banned out that Fulvius as well, so in a way they countered themselves, but if they really want to go for this Ruby, which seems to be the case, then banning out that Fulvius is absolutely important. So now with one more slot left, it does seem like Vietnam are going for a lot more aggression, and Malaysia, they have solutions here. They have slows, they have poke damage, and they also have options for the close range crowd control, the close range burst damage coming in from the heroes thus far. Final ban from both these teams will be the Ling from Vietnam.
Okay, let's see. It's gonna be a Leomord ban from Malaysia. Vietnam, they already banned out this Fredrin and also Link. So there's no aggressive assassin coming from Malaysia, but they still have Lancelot, they still have Hayabusa if they want to, or maybe if they want to play the Amon from the first game.
Showing
Malaysia
Vietnam how it's done?
Oh wow, maybe. Like, yo, this is how you play Amon.
Exactly, this is how you get it done. So for Malaysia, it's crazy that with 3 picks on the board, you're still kept guessing what's going to happen. It's not just the heroes, it's also the players. And that double layer of uncertainty is definitely weighing down on the minds of the Vietnamese players. The Grok will be the final ban from Malaysia, so maybe they want to go for a bit more crowd control and get that pick off going. They have slows, they have the Donald Wolf King as well as the I'm Offended. They go for catches, but Vietnam counters with saves. Matilda with the Guiding Wind will be available to rescue any poor member caught by Malaysia.
I really like the trophy coming from Vietnam, but is it gonna be the front co for maybe Yums?
Maybe. It's still maybe at this point.
Okay, they have enough CC.
Oh, they have a lot.
They have a
crowd
lot of
control.
Caesar actually. They have a lot of crowd control here. They have the I'm offended coming from Ruby, and also Don Wolf King that can hold up the movement coming from Vietnam here. And if they take this Franco, it's gonna be a nightmare for Vietnam, especially this Matilda. Even though he has the guiding wind, he wants to try to run. I think it still can be connected with the Iron Hood coming from Yams.
Right, but now instead of going for the Lapu Lapu, it's gonna be a Paquito.
It's more.
I don't know how I feel.
It's
Like
more scary. It's scarier though.
it's scarier because
scarier.
for Vietnam, okay, he won't be going in. He won't be having those crazy big engages, that kind of mobility. But in the lane though, the king is gonna be on his toes here. There's a lot of burst potential in that EXP lane Paquito. If it does go there, right there, we have seen both these teams round out their drafts. And my God, it seems like Malaysia, the name of their game seems to be crowd control. They ban or pick the Digi and they take everything possible. They can just slow, they can stun, they can root or hook the members of Vietnam.
Okay, and the Valentina, I would like to see who will she copy later on, because she has a lot of options. She can copy the Iesf, she can copy the Ruby, she can copy the Franco as well.
Bit of a silver lining for the side of Vietnam.
But the thing is, I just think that maybe Malaysia, they took a lot of CC here, just because they want to force this Valentina to use the IMMU,
Ooh,
right?
interesting theory, Mocha. That is definitely possible.
Because
If you can force your enemies to,
to use the
move-
ability.
Exactly, if you can force it to play a certain way, that is definitely an advantage in your hands.
Agree with that, because the scary thing coming from Valentina is the ultimate. So we will see the game number 2, RC.
Game number 2 between Malaysia and Vietnam. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and we can see, hang on, Chico on the Ruby in the jungle.
Oh, so it's gonna be a Ruby jungler, and the XP will of course formate with the Paquito.
Yikes. This is a very unusual circumstance, but we have seen Malaysia make it work, and you can see in the early game that poke damage and that wave clear is still going to be very much heavily in favor of Malaysia. After that, though, we'll see if the aggressive picks, the Valentina, the Benedetta from the side of Vietnam, can actually get the value plays in the early game as Momo actually gets pressured away.
Yeah, and I think Mid might help. He doesn't want to play,
Oh!
going into the late game composition, but suddenly the first blood, it goes into the hand of Malaysia with the nice iron hook coming from Yams.
Hey, ain't laughing now. That was an iron hook that just spelled his doom, and just like that, early on, just level 2, Malaysia has an advantage. They're getting a bit of gold from the tower plating. That's on the other side of the map, where you see Yoga and Formis just duking it out. Both will be backing away as soon, yet again, once the turtles start spawning, we'll see both teams actually pressure each other to try and get a bit of an advantage.
Yep, agree with that. And it's a bad thing for Vietnam because they lose this cloud, which is really needs an item, right?
Oh, as we say, needing item though, the king actually gets a pick onto Formis. But now it's Chico trying and get a trade back as Moon tries to help him out. Chico will be able to do a lot of damage. The king will get taken down. And Malaysia, they have pitted 1-for-1, but they want to go for some more. But that is the power of the Valentina on Need My Help. He comes in, and just like that, Malaysia is forced to back away.
Okay, and interesting because we know how strong Benedetta is, well, right, in the early games. He can make some outplay stuff here with the Benedetta, but if he already got ganking by 3 members or 2 members, I think it's very hard for the king, especially if he doesn't have enough ability to run out.
Both teams going for the turtle right now, but the crowd control advantage, as we mentioned, World of Relations being used by both these teams, and look at that.
HP with the guiding wind, so escape is there for Vietnam. But the thing is, when it comes to the team fight, Momo needs to be the insurance for Malaysia because only he has the damage enough for Malaysia.
In the late game, they're going to be forced to pick between Moon and Momo
Yeah,
to ensure that we'll have to see who actually is the one that is being targeted by Vietnam, because both of them can do an insane amount of damage in the late game. And look at Chiku's emblem though. Just noticed.
yeah, it's
So the bounty hunter.
yeah, because he wants to get more, money, more items quite fast. But Yams with the flicker and also the bloody hunter she.
Oh, but the blazing duet being used to counter that play, and now Malaysia is on the back foot as Vietnam looks for more. It's not over yet though, and now it does it as Momo is the one with the double kill, and they will go for Yoga as well. Real manipulation doing a lot of damage, and the immobilize will ensure that Momo gets a triple kill, and they will come out on top.
Yes, Vietnam maybe got 2 members from Malaysia, but the thing is, it's gonna be it's triple kill for Momo, which is we know that gold lane is gonna be the the insurance for the mid into the late game, right? And Momo already got the triple kill here just now. As we take a look to the replay, Momo is just so free. Even the blazing duet gave a lot of poke damage just now. But the thing is, the backup coming from Moon is very fast as well.
It's very fortunate that Momo was not caught in a blazing duet, so he was relatively healthy. And now Yums is looking for a play. The hook does not land though. And now Vietnam has a bit of control at the turtle pit. Will Malaysia try and contest? They do not have the element of surprise. The King already pressuring Malaysia away. Like a final blaze being used, Moon is forced to back away. Turtle being secured by Vietnam, and Malaysia is forced to concede. But look at that. Formace actually goes in. He will get taken, not out. He escapes with a sliver of HP. And Yums will be able to stop the rest of Vietnam. They get the turtle, and they won't be able to secure the kill onto Formace. What was that? How was that possible?
Look at the outplay coming from Formace with the juke. Coming from this Fakiro. No one can cut him from Vietnam. How is that possible, Arashi?
He was so low. I don't. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's like maybe a pixel HP just now. But look at the bloody hand again and again, Arashi.
With the blazing duet, though, that is a counterplay attempted by the side of Vietnam, but it won't be enough. Although the shutdown is actually got picked up by the Cloud, but on the other side of the map, you can see that Vietnam, they are a lot more proactive here. You make a play on one side of the map, we will take advantage in the other. Right here, you can see, destroyed right there. And in the turret though, they won't be able to actually defend. Malaysia goes for picks onto Need My Help, but he is a bit too far alone. You can see that the guiding wind is attempted, but there we go. He actually succeeds in saving his teammate's life. What a play from Nart.
What is this game, Arishi? It's like what HP pixel coming from the King and from Need My Help, and Need My Help still able to survive. Wow. It's unfortunately maybe because Malaysia they cannot punish him in the bottom lane just now, because again and again Matilda with the guiding wind saves everyone's out.
Guiding wind is definitely a big nuisance to a team that wants to get as many pickoffs as Malaysia. And if you look at the gold advantage, it's actually quite even, although you can see that when it comes to objectives, Malaysia has a bit of an edge, and now they have more vision to play around with, and maybe with their abundance of crowd control, they're going to try and attempt pickoffs in the jungle of Vietnam.
Okay, and now the turtle is already being poked by Vietnam and Malaysia. It seems like they want to try to clear the lane as soon as possible and let the Vietnam takes the turtle objective here, because they don't want to take